Hello and welcome to the Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of topics that may have come up during the week. I'm your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg, whatever you are comfortable calling me. And welcome to you, my co-host, the chat. Always a fantastic time having you here to discuss whatever may be going on. I feel like there's a few topics. I'm gonna jump out in front of one of them and say I'm probably not going to talk about what's going on with Blizzard, just because the stuff that's going on with Blizzard seems to be political in its origins, and I try not to get too involved with the political stuff. We do talk about that stuff from time to time. It has to do with politics from somewhere else. Whether or not I agree with those politics is that's a whole separate issue. But it's interesting. It's those are those kinds of things where you know that they are incendiary. You know that they are very dangerous. It's not even political. It's a company craving from it. Okay, maybe we're talking about something different then. I'm talking about the stuff that Blizzard is facing as far as the that one guy, like, he got banned or something, and then like Blizzard doesn't want to say anything about it. I think because they don't want to interfere with their market in China. I think that's what it is, but like I said, it's I think that's the only thing I know about it, and I'm just kind of like, I think that's what's going on. I think that's what Blizzard's involvement is. Yeah, it's Blizzard being overly harsh. Yeah, Blizzard always catered to China. They always, if you played WoW, they made a lot of changes to the game to cater to the Chinese market. It's because the Chinese market, it has the potential to be gigantic for a company. So I at the same time, I understand that it's like, maybe you should just stay away from it. This is one of those things where Blizzard probably, and we're not talking about it, I'm just saying that Blizzard probably, I imagine they had no intention of being involved in any of this, and they got thrust into it, so they have to do something. But hi everyone. Here Hyrule, Ryan, Rami, Sir Pigathy, Dragoon Knight Fox, thank you for the 5 bits. What's happening with Dairy Queen Blizzards? John Poncho UAC, quiet little Capricorn. Little Capricorn. Little Capricorn, look into it a little bit more. It's not freedom of speech. It's something else. It's something much more deeply politically rooted. I found an article that was like the Hong Kong controversy in 100 words and 500 words, and then it sort of broke it down more. There are some. It's a significant gaming issue that has nothing to do. It's a significant issue that has nothing to do with gaming. But because of some stuff that happened with a streamer or something, Blizzard got thrown into it. Spectre Salmon raiding with a party of 4. What is going on? Stop dying, Tiz. Stop dying, Tiz. I don't know who Tiz is. Thank you very, very much for the raid. Way to start off. Welcome everybody from Spectre Salmon stream. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Hopefully everybody, raid or not, hopefully everyone is doing okay. My week has been kind of so. It's better than it was last week. I was on vacation from work last week, but I'm still dealing with some issues. And last week, when I'm having a hard time with something, and I think this is going to be true for everybody. Whenever I'm having a hard time with something, I like work. I like being at work, because being at work gives me the opportunity to sort of take my mind off of it. You know what I mean? I focus on work. Or because of my job's massive amount of downtime, I focus on Dragon Quest Builders. But I was not at work last week, so it was very much like a lot of sitting around thinking about what's going on. But I went back to work this week, so I was actually very happy. I finished Dragon Quest Builders 2. The storyline is fantastic. Now I am obsessed with building everything up. I have the game forces you to build this gigantic pyramid. I am currently turning it all into gold because I can. Uh, and I'm very much enjoying it. I think I'm at like 100 hours into the game, which is a drop in the bucket compared to something like an Animal Crossing game, but it's still amazing. Like I'm still having a great time. Ryan, I think you were a Minecraft player. I for some reason I remember you being a Minecraft player. I don't know if you've played Dragon Quest Builders 2 or Dragon Quest Builders. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is awesome. It's probably like Minecraft players probably look at Dragon Quest Builders players like, oh look, uh baby's first Minecraft game. I don't know. Yeah, Ryan, I don't know why. I for some reason I had to, I could have sworn I remember you talking up Minecraft at some point. Like not dramatically, not like sitting there with a block shaped hat on. Like, let me tell you about this game that I'm playing. Like not like that. I just for some reason I remember you saying like talking about the merits of Minecraft, and it made me think that you were a player of Minecraft, which is not an accusation. I don't want. That's like it's like somebody like, oh well, this guy plays Fortnite. Like it's not like an accusation of something. You play it, you play it. Hello newcomers, Aqua Lizard. What are you doing here? Art Luna, what's happening? Juice break. Cran apple. Sorry for gulping down into the microphone there. But yeah, so I finished Dragon Quest Builders 2. I still have to do that stupid dungeon crap in Link's Awakening, and then I can finish that at 100%. I don't know if I'm gonna go right to hard mode. I'm like I'm playing it on stream, and playing it on stream. This is the second time that I'm playing it. Like I finished the game, and then I wanted to kind of play it again, so I decided to stream it. So this is the stream that's going on now is the second time that I'm playing through it. This time I'm playing it at 100%. So I'll probably wait before I go to hard mode, but I do want to give the hard mode a shot. Did you do some of the No, Rami, I haven't done it because I know that it's so boring. I don't want to do it. I'll bang it all out in like 2 hours. Like, because we're halfway through it. I think we finished 6 of the 12 dungeons, so we're like halfway through it. So I'll bang all of that stuff out relatively quickly, and then what I'll do is I'll make the last dungeon, because I think they said that it's 12. I'll make the last one, and then I'll probably do the last one on screen. So I'll do it on stream, and then once I do that, we can go to the egg, and then that's the end of the game. You mind if I slow chat now? No, go ahead. Like 10 seconds. 10 seconds is fine. Yeah, go right ahead. I don't think I ever mentioned this, but I have noticed the background is different from before. Well, the background is different in the sense that I moved it somewhere else in the house. So all my entire setup has been moved. But I also have the lightings. What's it? I finished my playthrough and then let my friend the game so he could try it. I don't think he ever played the original. Okay. So happened my music I made appeared on a stream. Which one? Which music? So yeah, that's I don't know what's next though. I really want to play Indivisible. I think I'll be fine playing it on PS4 if I decide to get that. Because of today's topic, I have been interested more than ever to play Cuphead. So I may break down and buy that digitally. I have been holding out on I've never played Cuphead. I have never held a controller in my hand and played Cuphead. Like I've never had the opportunity to, and I just never did. When it came out on Switch, I was happy, but once it came out on Switch, they announced that there was going to be DLC, and I think the physical copy for the Switch is going to come later with the DLC. I could swear I read that somewhere, that there is a physical copy coming out. So I'm reluctant to buy it. I'd rather just wait until the full version comes out. I don't know. Maybe I'll just buy it on PC. I'll bang one out. Wait longer. It's almost 2020. Cuphead is too intense for me. I've only ever played it at a friend's house. See, I like it. I've seen it in motion before, and it looks fantastic. Oh, here's a stream which features waiting on it's the waiting music at the start and the end. Okay, I'll check that out later. Gamer Jam. Also have Indivisible on my Steam account since it helped support the project a couple years ago. I'm waiting for my Switch. Well, the Switch copy, we don't even know when that's coming out. There on the Switch eShop, if you type in Indivisible, for me anyway, nothing came up. Maybe I was spelling it wrong or something, but nothing came up. But when you go to like the coming soon in the store, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's no date for it. There's, as is my understanding, there's no date set for the Switch version to come out. So that's bothering me. Like, all right, well, that's the only reason I'm considering the PS4 version, because there's no question, there's no answer for when the Switch version is coming out. If they would have said the Switch version coming out in early next year, in January or something, I was okay, that's fine, I'll wait. But we don't even know. And to be completely honest, after the whole Bloodstained thing, I don't even know if I want to wait. I don't know if I want to take the chance. Not good at hard games, but I was able to beat Cuphead after some practice, and I love it. See, that's Dragoon. That's what games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be difficult. They're supposed to be a challenge. But you're supposed to want to meet the challenge, and then when you do, you're like, oh man, this was awesome. I'm so glad that I stuck with it, and I get the ending is more satisfying now that I get to, because I know that I worked hard to get at it. That's great. That's what video games are supposed to be. What kind of game is Indivisible supposed to be? Indivisible is an RPG with a more action-based combat system. Where if you ever played, there's a game called Valkyrie Profile, which I was in love with. That it's a similar combat system where the characters, when you get into it's almost like it's a side scroller basically. But when you run into an enemy, you get into a battle. And on the battle screen, you've got, the enemies and your characters. Your characters are lined up in a diamond formation that corresponds to each one of the buttons. So when you hit the X, the top person will go over and attack. So then you can hit them in combinations to do different combos with the characters. And then there's also special moves and stuff that you do. I don't know if you can still get the demo. Check online. You may be able to still find the demo for it. The demo's from like 3 years ago or something. If you look on Amazon, it has the Switch release as a standard. December 31st at the end of the year always means that they don't know when. They think that it might be this year, but they don't actually know when. Because I don't think I've ever heard of a game actually releasing on December 31st. That would be awesome, though. Yeah, I love the look of everything, but it's a bit much for me. Oh, okay. Shining Force EXA. Is that what that combat system is? Yeah, I'm waiting for the physical Switch. Yeah, physical Switch to get Indivisible. I'm gonna try and wait. Because I would rather have it on Switch. I would rather have it portable. But I think I'll blow up my gasket if the game comes out on Switch and then they tell me that it's running at like 20 frames per second. It's all messed up.
And I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Succubus666. Thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciate that. Welcome to the conversation. It's so far we haven't gotten to the meaty stuff yet. Cuphead is one of those games that bums me out personally because of my vision. Playing Cuphead would be extremely difficult. What do you mean because of your vision? That's just like blurry vision, or like is it hard to see? In which case I would probably recommend glasses. You can still get the demo on PC. Yeah, if you can get the demo for Indivisible, you can get it. It's a fantastic taste of the game. I would say the demo is actually like 2 years old. I think it was. I don't know I don't remember if we streamed the demo or not. I'd wait on Indivisible because more characters need. Well, but Hawk, they're gonna do that as DLC. They're gonna do that as downloadable stuff. They always do. And then even later on, if the game comes out physically later on, they're not gonna put those characters. You're just gonna get home and put your game in and then download them immediately. Because that's the way things are. That's just the way it is. Speaking of tactical RPG, as a fan of tactical RPG yourself, ever played Valkyria? No. I've not played Valkyria Chronicles. I've seen it, but I have not actually tried it myself. Well, gamer, I can't listen to it right now. That's to me with Hat in Time. Apparently, the Switch physical release was pushed to November 6th to 8th ish. It's still releasing this one digitally. Yeah, I'll wait for it. I'm waiting for Cuphead. I'll wait for Indivisible. I would have waited for Bloodstained, but Bloodstained is one that I wish I waited for because it came out and it wasn't. I haven't actually played through the Switch Bloodstained yet. I played through it on PS4, so I haven't actually tried it. Valkyria Chronicles 1 is on Switch. I'd really recommend. Now, it's tactical RPG. Is it like tactics, like Final Fantasy Tactics with individual units, or is it RTS style, like Command and Conquer, where it's like large groups of units? I've never been a huge fan of the large groups of units. Command and Conquer was never my thing. I think StarCraft is like that too, isn't it? Where you command like large scales of units as opposed to individual characters. So you excited for the undergrads movie? No, I don't. I'm not familiar with that. Probably not. No, that doesn't. Yeah, I'll be honest. That doesn't sound like my cup of tea. Unfortunately, Gamer Jam, once you said MTV, that's probably not going to be my speed. I'm happy with the Switch patches for Bloodstained. Lilac in the hunt with a sub. Thank you so much. I have arrived and in pain. In pain. That doesn't sound good. I'm happy that the Switch patches for Bloodstained are supposed to be out by November. All right, so Hero, I'll when those patches come out, I'll go back and give it a try. Cause we tried it on stream. I did play a little bit of Bloodstained on the Switch on stream, and there was a point where there's a loading issue. It was this one area where when you transition into the next area, it was about 45 seconds of black screen. I thought the game froze. And we just decided to sit on the screen and it loaded. It's kind of a disaster. And I wanted to play it too because there's a boss later on that on the PS4 version, the boss chugs the frame rate. So I wanted to see what the Switch version did. The Switch probably jumps out of your dock to avoid loading that boss. I would not be at all surprised. It's like a Switch toaster. You basically get control of units you choose from different classes. You move them and enemies will react as you move and time pauses when you take your action. And when enemies move, your characters will auto counterattack as they come into range. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think I see what you're saying. That sounds a little bit like oh my god, Dragon Force on the Saturn. An amazing game, Dragon Force. If I can get my Saturn working properly, I would love to try that out, to go through that game again and see how long it is, because it's probably like 100 hours and I don't feel like playing that on stream for 100 hours. 3D behind the back tactical RPG where you control individual units. All right, so I will look this game up. Because it's after Valkyrie Profile. Anything with the word Valkyrie in it usually. I thought you meant Dragon Force the band. No. Dragon Force, the amazing Sega Saturn game. Phil's Valkyria Chronicles is good. VC4 though, I hated the main characters and the story is not. I hate knowing that if I like the game, it's gonna decline in quality. I'll still give it a shot though. Last tidbit, because since Ryan's here, hopefully Ryan is still listening. I have been watching an anime called My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. It's a good show. I don't like the main character. I really don't like him. He's unlikable in almost every aspect. That I just don't like them. It's weird. There are a couple other characters that I'm not a huge fan of, but there are some. It's funny because that's an interesting show where it's an interesting situation that I love some of the side characters. I love some of the characters that we don't see much of. There's this one girl that's, how far are you in? I have tried I'm up to the second or third episode of the second season of Snafu 2. So I finished all the first one. There's one girl that she loves, what's it called? Yaoi, the gay male manga. It's like she loves it, so she's trying to push the boy characters closer together, and it's great because there's the main character. There's this one other character, this boy, but he looks like a girl. Like when they first introduce him, he says like, oh, he has to keep telling people that he's a boy, but he's so adorable that the main character, like whenever he gets near him, he's like, oh, I love you. Like there's a scene where the boy love yaoi, right? There's a scene where like he does something and the boy is there and he's smiling. So then randomly, like thinking to himself, randomly the main character is like, I want to protect his smile. It's so hilarious. And I love that. It's just everything else about the main character, like his outward behavior is just so irritating. Also, each unit has different. Oh, this is for Valkyria Chronicles. Also, each unit has different potentials that give them different buffs or debuffs depending on battles. Like getting stats up for walking on dirt road. Okay. Oh, that's interesting then. She's Fujoshi? Is that what it is? I hope I got that right. My Duolingo hasn't gotten as far as boy love manga yet. Oh, let me silence my phone here. Okay. But that's what's going on with me. So I want to get into the topics here. It's mostly just the one main topic. If anybody has seen this, there is a game that has just been announced that is supposed to be coming out. The Kickstarter, I think, is supposed to be October 24th. Yeah, Ryan, I do like the show. Lady Foxheart rating with a party of 2. Welcome from Lady Foxheart stream. Hopefully everything is going okay with all of you there. I was hoping this would be a topic for today. Yes, oh god, yes. So a video was just released for a Kickstarter that's going to be opening up soon. It's for a game called Enchanted Portals. Now, this is imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, is what they say, right? When you talk about slow mode, wild. When you talk about comedians, movies, TV shows, music, anything like that, the idea of using some other media as an inspiration for what you do is absolutely fine. Is totally fine. I don't think that there's anything wrong with listening to a song and saying, oh, that kind of sounds like this. That kind of sounds like this band. That kind of sounds like, this movie kind of reminds me of this movie. The problem is how far into imitation can you go before you are just plagiarizing what is come. This is Ice Baby and Under Pressure. Ice Baby and Under Pressure is a fantastic example because you can hear it. You can hear doon, 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 doon. And there's a sort of bass line. There's a natural tone to the rhythm, a rhythm to the rhythm, I should say, that you can distinguish between both of them. When the song starts out, it's you don't know if you're gonna hear stop or pressure. Like you don't know which one is coming. Once you hear it, you can tell, and that's the big thing. Once you hear it, you can tell the difference. That's fine. I have no problem. I remember people used to complain like, "Oh, it was sampling, it was stealing." It wasn't stealing Under Pressure. The song sounded completely different as you continue on. The song has two things: the rhythm and the vocals. The vocals are completely different, so it helps change the song almost entirely. The beginning of the song is where you're like, huh? Beyond that, I think it's totally fine. I think Freddie would have liked that song. I think he would have jammed to it just like everybody else was. But yeah, I beat my first playthrough. Okay. Difference between inspiration and can I copy your homework? Yeah, change it so the teacher doesn't notice. I think they're very obviously trying to bang on Cuphead's success, and I think it will get them a lot of support. Okay. Super Freak and You Can't Touch This is another good example. So this video drops for Enchanted Portals, and this video, I'm not going to show the video. I was actually considering showing the video so that everybody can be up to speed if you have not seen the video yet. It is almost indistinguishable from Cuphead. And when I say almost indistinguishable, hold on. Right here. I have this. I really need a better system for this. Wait, why didn't that open up? Hold on. Oh, okay, that's why. Open. Where is my open with thingy? There we go. That wasn't working. That is the game. Unbelievable, right? It is indistinguishable, in my opinion, from Cuphead, to the point where if you took somebody who did not play Cuphead and you showed them video of this game and you showed them just this picture, I believe that someone would think that that was the exact same game, but you're using a different character. That crosses the line between imitation and plagiarism. When the two are indistinguishable from each other without specifics. Because a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, that's clearly not Cuphead. Yes, because you played the game. But take a look at it. You know what I like? If you swapped out the character, if you put Cuphead in that picture, you would think that that's a new boss for Cuphead. You would think that this is footage for Cuphead too. That is a problem. That is way too close. They should have either copied Cuphead's art style or gameplay, but not both. Yes. Look at the design of the characters themselves, the way Enchanted Portal's character, the way their legs are drawn. I'll be honest. The first time I watched the video, I thought she was shooting with her hand. I thought she was doing this just like in Cuphead. It took me a while to realize that she's holding a wand, because in Cuphead that's what they do. It just makes these funny noises that I did not make very well there. I mean, it's not like Cuphead. No, hawk goggles. Here's the thing, because I've seen some people saying that online. Obviously, this sort of, what's it called, like rubber hose art style, this sort of Fleischmann era art style. Cuphead and Studio MDHR did not create this. They Studio MDHR is the one that made Cuphead. Studio MDHR did not create that art style, but they are the first ones and the most notable ones to use it in this way, in this exact way. See, that's the problem. If you had taken this art style for the characters, changed the shape of the characters a little bit, made them taller and lankier, or did something else, maybe not have them shoot things like that, or make it blatantly obvious that they're not shooting with their hand or something. And then you did the backgrounds differently. You could have that character. Here's a good idea for a game. Here's a good Enchanted Portals developer. Let me see if I forget who it was. Zizo Game Studios. Here's an idea for a game. You have a character like this that is from the 1930s era that falls through a time portal, and then from then on, that character moves around through levels and fights bosses, but the backgrounds and the enemies for the game are different art style. They're different. They're animated their animation from different eras. So it's like they're going through the 40s and 50s cartoons, the Tom and Jerry art style, the Bugs Bunny art style, you know what I mean, the Chuck Jones cartoons. You start moving through that. You can have an area where everything is more anime based. Like you have them explore different kinds of art style, but all of this looks exactly like Cuphead, right down to a T. So I hold on. Can I do this? No, I can't do that. I have a bunch of pictures here, but they didn't like. They hold on. Open with photo gallery. Oh, so that didn't work. Hang on. That is Cuphead. The only extra difference is the bullets fire slower and even do the hand wiggle, which could easily be remedied by getting a power up that says that your bullets travel faster. Yeah, and we don't know that it's a boss rush yet because everybody calls Cuphead a boss rush, and Cuphead realistically has some little elements of platforming, as is my understanding. I know the first stage is like there's a bit of platforming in there. I'd absolutely love an RPG with this art style. Yeah, make an RPG. You know what I mean? Like this is the exact same thing. So that's Cuphead. So this is another Enchanted Moon. I really got to figure out a better way to do this. I thought I had more of this picture. Right? Yeah. So that's Enchanted Portals. I said Enchanted Moon. If you want images side by side, I posted a link up above. Well, I have all of these images here. I just need to figure out a way to get all of this stuff set up. I think Yooka-Laylee is a blatant homage to Banjo-Kazooie, but at the end of the day, it's just another animal mascot platformer. Yeah, Yooka-Laylee I find to be an homage to Banjo-Kazooie, but it's not so visually indistinguishable, and that's probably because there hasn't been a recent Banjo game. What's hurting this more than anything is that Cuphead is not old. You know, Cuphead is within the last couple of years. If Cuphead was a 10, 15-year-old game, we would call this an homage to it. We would call this what's the term that they kept throwing around? Spiritual successor. That's what we would call this. But the fact that Cuphead is still very relevant, this is a spiritual ripoff. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. They're banking off Cuphead's release, and they're still using it. Yeah, but they're still using their own character design. But the problem is that they're still using their own character design, but it's not that different. You know, the character design that looks like it could be a character from Cuphead. If you played Cuphead and Cuphead had multiple characters in it, because this game is supposed to have multiple characters, this could very easily have come right out of Cuphead. And that's the problem. The problem becomes when it is indistinguishable from the source material. Yeah, it looks like a skin. It looks like a Cuphead skin. Also, she meant to look like Peach. Thank you, Latimer. I didn't want to say that. I wanted somebody else to say that first. I don't see that as a it's a blonde in a pink dress. So we automatically think Princess Peach. But I didn't want to point anybody in that direction. I wanted you to see that for yourself. Okay. And there's a reason I chose this image. There's a reason I chose this specific image. It cropped out the image, and I'm not happy that it did that. If you can see, he's standing on 3 platforms, right? The character here is standing on 3 platforms. These platforms are actually floating in the air. The funny thing is they did put effort into the game while ripping them off. With hand drawing, one thing that could help help a split if it was easier. But then you wouldn't know it was easier until after you bought it. That's the problem. You wouldn't know that until after you bought it. But you can see that he's standing on these platforms, right? These platforms are floating in air. Hang on a second. Like, okay, you're now you're just doing it on purpose. Looking at this Cuphead side by side reminds me of the mobile games that are blatant ripoffs of actual games. Oh yeah, which they always get sued. They always get taken down. Blizzard had a big problem with this one, not Smite. I forget which one it is that its characters look exactly like the orcs from Warcraft. Like it's not even subtle that they're ripping it off. But that flower looks evil. If you want to hear a plant, there's a truck outside. Fantastic. This is Cuphead. It's a bit close. It's a bit close. The 3 floating platforms and everything. It's a bit close. Now, one of the things that I've seen people say is that it looks like Cuphead without the filter. So if you see the pictures of Enchanted portals, it looks like Cuphead. Cuphead has this sort of grainy film filter over everything, so it looks like an old 1930s cartoon, which is terrific. It's a great little touch. So people are saying that Enchanted Portals doesn't have that, and that helps it look different. So what I did was I added the filter. It looks a lot more like Cuphead all of a sudden. To me, anyway. I don't know how much it looks like that to everybody else. To me, it looks a bit more like Cuphead now. All I did was add a filter. And apparently Cuphead does have a mode where you can remove the filter, but I'm not familiar with it. The game was made in China, and they don't believe... Yeah. Cuphead came up with the original idea of fighting bosses on... No, but you see... I know, Hawkeye. I know you're playing devil's advocate. But, again, and that's the issue, is that... Cuphead did not... Studio MDHR did not create fighting bosses on platforms in a side-scrolling manner. Studio MDHR did take the 1930s rubber hose animation style, apply it to everything you see on the screen, take a character that's a short, stumpy character that shoots little bullets out of his hand, and fights these big bosses with all of these crazy designs, all set to like 1930s music. They did that, and Enchanted Portals is doing everything exactly the same. That's my point. If you took the characters and the motion and you changed the backgrounds and the bosses, you made it not a boss rush. Imagine all of this as a Metroidvania type game where it's more of an adventure. At the very least, you know what we would get? We would get, oh man, it's like Cuphead but a Metroidvania. There would be enough of a distinction between the two games for you to be able to say, okay, they're clearly different from each other. They look the same, but they're clearly different. But this game looks the same, plays the same, sounds the same, is the same. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, it's probably a ripoff of Cuphead. I did that for one more. Hold on, I modded one more picture. And I made it, so I'm gonna use it. That one's a little bit worse. A little bit less. I see it. The film, the picture edit quality is kind of blah. Thing is, if you look at all the the filter is even more blatant that it's a Cuphead ripoff. Let's say it comes out and it's actually better than Cuphead. Yes, it'll still be considered a knockoff. It will be, people will say it's the superior version, but they'll still say that it's just Cuphead. You know what they'll say? Man, I wish Cuphead did this the way what did I call it on Twitter? Mug noggin. It's like, what are you talking about, ripoff? Mug noggin is a completely original idea. I think I might. No, I don't think it's going to get taken down. I think Studio MDHR is going to leave it for now. I think they may say something later. I really wish. Here's the thing. I really wish Studio MDHR would say something now. If they're going to say anything at all, I wish they would say something now, because the Kickstarter is about to be released. And that's going to suck if a bunch of people start putting money into it and then they say, oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll be completely honest with you. I honestly think the reason that this video was released by Zizo. It's like XIXO. So I'm going to say Zizo. The reason I believe that they released this when they did is because they're trying to gauge reaction from MDHR. I honestly think they did this because if they would have just dropped the Kickstarter and then MDHR said, "Oh, whoa, hold on." By the time they did that, there would have been a lot of people that put money into the Kickstarter. I'm honestly thinking that Zizo's idea is that let's put this out there. Let's see if MDHR is going to stop us. If they're not going to stop us, we'll go ahead with Kickstarter. If they do, nobody has to be wasted. No, nothing gets wasted. We don't get accused of fraud because if they put this on Kickstarter, collect a bunch of money, and then it gets taken down, they could probably get in trouble in some way with the Kickstarter company. I don't know how all of that works. I never Kickstarted anything in my life, with the exception of a four-wheeler one time. To be fair, Hoisin. CDMDHR combined elements of games and cartoons and made a specific game. Cuphead being a run and gun or homage is not specific to Cuphead, but that combination of elements is what's specific to Cuphead. It's like how you can copyright individual motions, but you can't copyright individual motions, but you can copyright a combination of motions to make up exactly. You can't copyright the art style. You can't copyright the gameplay. You can't copyright the style, anything of the music style. You can't copyright any of that. But when you put it together in a specific combination, that game is yours. And copying it too closely, no matter how much you want to say, oh well, it's homage to Cuphead. No, it's kind of a ripoff of Cuphead, realistically. And that's tricky. I mean, legally, it's a slippery slope. You know us here. We are graduates of the Internet School of Web Law, so our legal knowledge is extremely limited. But when you see this, you're kind of like, I don't know. It's so dangerous because if they get away with it, what's to stop somebody else from trying it? And then we end up with a bunch of crap out there and armchair lawyers. Desk chair lawyers, I should say. Although my chair does have arms, so I'll get a real lawyer and let me know if this can legally be called an armchair, and then maybe I'll ask him about Enchanted Portals. It's kind of odd they were released at this time. The NDHR are doing a lot of promotional stuff for Cuphead since it's a TV show. Very good. And people have said it already. They're trying to cash in on Cuphead. They clearly made a game like this. They could have made the game look differently, but they didn't. They could have still made a run and gun game, or they could have made the game look like this and made a not run and gun game. But they made it look exactly like this and made it exactly like a run and gun game. The music, if you watch the trailer, the music is very much like the Cuphead music. There's already a bunch of crap out there. Yeah, that's true. A bunch more crap. There we go. Listen. We're trying to stop the wave of crap at every instance that we can. We gotta fight it one wave at a time. All right. So let me take that down. Now it's funny that I wanted to talk about this because this came up. Maybe 2 days ago, another issue came up that is very, very, very relevant to this. 1 second. Oh. Another issue came up that's very relevant to this. There is a studio. Let me see. I have the story here. Guy named Zoltan Crisco, which, by the way, is probably the most amazing name I've heard in a long time. Zoltan Crisco is suing a whole bunch of people. So once you hear the list here includes Marvel, Disney, Fox, Apple, Amazon, and more. Ninja, what? Trident, Tour. Ninja Trident. Thank you so much for the invitation to the host club. Very much appreciate that. So this guy, Zoltan Crisco, which I can't possibly say enough, is suing a whole bunch of people. Hey, Mr. Sonic. Suing a whole bunch of people because he is claiming that the 90s X-Men cartoon theme song is a ripoff of the theme song from a Ukrainian show.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Ninja Trident, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Let's see, Hungarian. Crisco says he manages the estate of a Hungarian composer named Georgi Vukan. Somebody. Oh God, I know I butchered that name. Georgi Vukan is how I'm gonna say it. So I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. He created and copywrote the theme song for a show from 1983 called the theme song for a show called Linda. He's claiming that they ripped off the song and that he deserves to sue them. First Rage, are these two new Smash DLC? No. Oh yeah, well, this is still related. He's claiming that the X-Men theme song was ripped off from the theme of Linda. And I have both of these songs queued up. We're probably going to get a copy written for these, but whatever. I don't do this for the money. I do this for you guys. And, a little bit for the money. There's a little bit of money. Hey, Mendes, what's going on? So, this is the intro. Okay, so I don't want to blow everybody's ears out. This is X-Men. All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. Yeah, we got some hot topics, so we slowed it down a little bit. So that's the X-Men theme song, right? Kick-ass song. We know it. We hum it all the time. I know I hum it all the time. Whenever somebody uses the letter X, I hum it. And then I hum the X-Files theme song. This is making me want to watch old superhero cartoons. Now, this is the theme song for Linda. All right, so the intro for Linda has a bunch of crap to it. And then the song starts. So I queued it up right at the relevant. I queued it up at the relevant part, but I'm gonna let it play a little bit beyond that, and there's a reason for that. So this is the theme song for Linda. The sound effects are because of some weird animation. Cool intro, though. Pretty uncanny. Okay, so I let that play a little bit longer for a very specific reason. I don't think there's any question whatsoever that the main riff sounds the same. Sounds similar. Similar. This one is like it's got a change in pitch. Sounds like something in Cuphead. But it sounds incredibly similar. There's no question of that. The problem is once you get past that part of the songs are wildly different. Even those parts of the song don't sound the same. They sound similar. There's a difference. There's a difference between sounding similar and sounding exactly the same, and they're clearly not. Ryan actually said it's not quite the same notes. It's obviously not the same pitch. It's noticeably different. You're not going to hear Linda start up and think somebody turned on X-Men, you're going to say, that kind of sounds like the X-Men song. It's again, it's Queen versus, and I was happy. That's why I was happy that everybody was bringing some of those songs up. Those are prime examples, and this lawsuit that's going on, which is bonkers, is a prime example of what it's supposed to be like. You can get inspiration from something, you can do some parts of it that might sound similar, but realistically, they are noticeably different. And that's the important distinction here. That's when you cross the line from imitation to plagiarism, when the works become indistinguishable from each other. And that to me is a line that Enchanted Portals has crossed, unfortunately. They are way too close, and they need to at this point I'm kind of 50-50 on whether or not I'd be surprised that Enchanted Portal comes out, and not surprised. You know what I mean? Like if it gets canceled, I would say, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. If it doesn't get canceled, I would say, yeah, I can kind of see MDHR saying like, all right, we'll let them do their thing. If anything, as bad as it sounds, it brings attention to Cuphead. It brings attention to the franchise that is not like it's a dying game. For all we know, they've got a second one coming out. They've got the cartoon. Somebody mentioned a cartoon earlier. They probably like the publicity. They're probably gonna let the game come out and then sue for part of the profits. Who knows? Maybe there's a backdoor deal going on and they do get part of the profits. The song lawsuit sounds similar to the Joyful Noise lawsuit. What's the Joyful Noise lawsuit? Or the ABCs and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Ugh, Mendez, that was a brutal lawsuit. But the ABC people really got taken to town on that one. I don't think I heard Fell This Moment. I know Take on Me. Hard Times and Ice Cap Zone. Yeah. Green Greens and Green Greens. Way too similar sounding. Final Fantasy XIV had a similar thing in 2016 where they had the... Oh, man. Wow, Lilac. Power Man 5000. Yikes. Accused Square Enix of stealing their music, second phase music for the boss. Oh, okay, so it sounded strikingly familiar. Yeah, I just... you made Cuphead elements to put a spin on it, how Dragon Quest formula was copied from Final Fantasy. Yeah, well, Final Fantasy, I guess, technically was copied before Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest came out after Final Fantasy here, but in Japan, it was first. Wow, I'm still blown away by somebody mentioning Power Man 5000. Cuphead versus Enchanted Portals. I just call it a rip-off, but the X-Men thing... Yeah, the X-Men thing is just more... I don't know if it's coincidence. I wonder if whoever made the X-Men song... I don't have his name handy. I'm curious if whether or not they did maybe hear the song. Because it's a cool song. And if you get a chance, go watch the intro for Linda. It's a very cool... intro. Like it's live action, but there's animated stuff into it. So there's a cool scene where the guy, like, he's like the villain, and then I guess he's the villain, and he's looking down, and there's the bullseye. You see the big circles with the lines. It's the big bullseye symbol goes in front of him, and it stops on him, and then he goes like this. And it's like string, and he wipes the bullseye away. Like, there's some really cool artistic things in the intro, and it looks really interesting. But the song is not ripped off. Can we get another X-Men cartoon? Supposedly, the X-Men cartoon is showing up on one of the streaming services. I don't know. It's probably Hulu. It's probably going to be Hulu because, of course, it'll be Hulu where I get ads all the time, and it can't be Amazon Prime where I'm ad free. It's going to be a Disney Plus. Oh, I don't want to have to get Disney Plus to watch X-Men. Previously on X-Men. That's what I should have that as my intro for the show. we'll start we'll start Silver Linings from now on, where we mention last week's episode and previously on the Silver Lining. Search X-Men cartoons Banshee scream best voice acting. Well, I'll look that up, Ryan. I'll tell you what though, the X-Men cartoon. This is going off on a little tangent. The X-Men cartoon had previously on X-Men. Please renew Disney Plus services. The X-Men cartoon had probably my favorite voice acted character ever, which is Apocalypse. The stuff that they had that guy say, unfortunately he passed away. I think he passed away in 2005 or something. The stuff that they had him say, I now I have to look up his name. Apocalypse VA. Not Apocalypse Vape. X-Men cartoon. I never heard Alpacalypse voice. Hold on. There's a great line. I have to play it because now I have to play a voice clip of his. X-Men. Oh, just play the one scene. I wanted to play the one scene because they're all like compilations of his lines. Hang on. Oh no! Stupid Battle of Midway. Previously on X-Men. Is that... Hold on. Not that it's a bad thing. It's good to defend your copyrights, but I feel that now copyright laws are getting more. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
You are no closer than the Babylonians.
Do Banshee scream
with
next.
Swords and fire sticks.
Passes away. Together we shall forge a new one in fire and blood.
I love this voice acting.
But then again,
Hold on.
I am given pause.
No, hold on. I gotta find. Is it right there? Nope. Is it this one? Hold on. I think it's this one.
There exists no freedom from me. There is only freedom through me. For I bring the purity
I love this.
of oblivion to your world. Joke. Am I doomed to destroy me? And watch me.
No, it's not here. It's not here. There's two lines. He said one of them. He says, oh man. There is no freedom from me. There is only freedom through me. And there's another one that's it's not in this video clip here. That is, he says, I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken. And I love it. It's such a great line. All right, so let me go back here. Copyright laws are getting more from. We're seeing a lot more people come forward with 5 to 15-year-old copyrights. Yeah, it's Dragoon, and I wonder if that's just greed, or if it's just people are more informed now. People are starting to realize that they have an outlet. They have a way to fight back from people who have stolen their property. Elliot said, hey, Bound by Games. I didn't realize that was you that said that. By the way, I found the Enchanted Portal devs' social media pages. Zizo Game Studios is a Spanish studio of 2 people. They have on a Facebook. We're both avid fans of Cuphead and wanted to make a similar game, but always from a place of love, respect, and admiration for the original. But, but it's a ripoff's a ripoff, no matter what you intended. Does Apocalypse still look like Ivan Ooze? A little bit better. Guys and girls, I thought you were singing Guys and Dolls. I was singing that to Guys and Dolls. But yeah, that's we spun off completely there because we started talking about X-Men. But yeah, Enchanted Portals is Cuphead. It's Cuphead 2. Okay. We are going to. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I am going to take like a 30-second break, and then when we come back, we will be doing viewer topics. But I will probably want to discuss the specs for the PS5. I heard some interesting things. I've got this article open, so I want to read it. But oh wait, okay, hold on. Banshee Scream. Well, before we do that, Banshee Scream. Oh no. X-Men. No, wait. What am I looking for here? Banshee Scream or best? Did you say like best voice acting or something? Yeah, all I'm seeing is like X-Men First Class Banshee. Yeah, X-Men Banshee Scream. I'm seeing a ton of stuff from the X-Men First Class movie. Is that what I'm looking for? Yeah, it's a whole bunch of X-Men First Class stuff. Search X-Men cartoon Banshee. Okay, so hold on. X-Men cartoon Banshee. X-Men Banshee Rescue? I'm not seeing this video here. Club Banshee? What? Hold on.
It's Charles.
The best thing, whenever I see stuff like that, as a kid I used to not care when I saw stuff like that. It was like, oh, he's screaming, like that's his power. As an adult who is more aware of voice acting than ever, I now picture there's a guy standing in a voice acting booth doing that. AGM, thank you so much in the hunt with a tier 1 sub. Subscribe for 2 months. Best $5 I could have spent. Oh.
Seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar.
On the topic, I think while tracing and plagiarism is a thing, it will also vary from person to person. Some people can't even stand the idea that there are stuff. Yeah, but there's AGM. That's sort of what we were talking about before. There's a difference between referenced and almost the same exact picture. You know what I mean? And that's sort of the problem. 2 weeks I'm going to go see Tara Strong and Charles Martinet. Ooh, I saw Charles Martinet a couple of times. He's all right. He seems like a good guy. Let us see the dollar. That's normally reserved for donations, but you know it's a fun clip, so I wanted to play it.